Hey everyone, in this video I will be talking about how I drew this portrait, and that too from the scratch, and also how I colored it using watercolors and waterbrush pens, and it is a time-lapse video, so let's begin. As always, I start with drawing the sketch first, and I usually draw directly on the watercolor paper. The watercolor paper that I'm using here is Archie's 300 GSM cold pressed paper. Since the paper is pretty rough, sketching on it is not that smooth, but yeah, with some practice, sketching on rough paper doesn't feel that difficult. I'm using a 2H graphite pencil by Sennelier. It is a very light pencil and it can be easily erased, so that's why this is my go-to pencil when it comes to sketching, especially on a watercolor paper. And for erasing, I'm using a Prcoess kneadable eraser, which is really good in terms of keeping the surface of the paper less impacted by erasing. After the sketching, I am habitual of drawing the outlines, but I do make sure that the outlines are not too thick. I draw outlines so that the sketch is clear to me, and then further coloring is confusion free. These are black pigment liners by STA, which I bought from AliExpress. These are not much known, rather not at all known, but these are pretty fine to use. I found them just like microning pens. These are waterproof, which is the only thing I cared about. For coloring, I'm using Sennelier Watercolors. Also, all the art supplies that I'm using in this video are mentioned in the description box as well. I always start off with coloring the skin first, and the best technique is wet on wet technique for getting the smooth skin texture. So for my first layer of watercolors, I always go for wet on wet technique, even for coloring the other areas. Also, the outlines look actually very good with watercolors if they're very thin, but yes, outlining on a rough surface is a bit difficult than usual outlining, but that gets fine as you become used to of this kind of paper. Always keep a tissue paper handy in case you want to take off the watercolors. To do so, just gently put the tissue paper on the place from where you want to take off the watercolor, and it will soak the watercolor almost like erasing it. Now once I have put in the first layer of watercolors and it has dried as well, then I can go for further layers of watercolors, and this time I will be using mainly wet on dry technique and add more details to the drawing. Coloring the skin always takes the most of my time because it takes time to build the layers of watercolors to get the skin texture correct to some extent. Here there was a lot of yellowish tone on the skin, and that's why I have used yellow a lot. Also, I am using waterbrush pens for coloring as these are really vibrant and not that transparent compared to watercolors. So wherever I wanted high color intensity, I went for these waterbrush pens. But again, using them is a bit tricky at times because there are some colors that are so dark that it can take away the beauty of watercolor medium. I did a mistake of coloring the hair very dark using a brown brush pen. It particularly felt very dark just because I was using mainly watercolors on the other areas, and watercolors being a transparent medium made black hair look a bit off. Though I was actually using brown color for hair and black for hairband, but still it was looking as if I've colored the entire hair area black. So I thought of using a white gel pen to distinguish the hairband from hair, because I kind of colored them both dark, but it didn't seem to create much difference as well. So I tried to lighten the blackness by taking off that color using water and applying that color on the other areas, especially for coloring the t-shirt. As you can see that how much color intensity brush pens have, that I'm able to color the entire t-shirt by taking off the color from a very small section of hair, and still it didn't create much difference in the darkness of the hair. So I thought of using the white gel pen to do something new, that is drawing white lines over the hair, and was hoping that it would look cool, but I didn't like this look either. So I feel that one must learn how to cover mistakes if in case it happens. So like here, my idea of drawing white lines using my gel pen over black hair didn't work out for me, so I covered it up using black brush pen over the white gel pen lines, and then using colored pencils over the hair to create effect of a puffed up hair in the front, and that to me felt a lot better than before. Also, to make it look a bit more colorful, I thought of drawing the boundaries over the complete portrait with 3 different colors, and before drawing the boundaries with these colors, I checked which 3 would look really good together. So guys, my portrait is done. Overall in this video, I talked about the whole process of drawing this portrait. That's it for this video. If you found this video useful or you liked it, make sure you give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to my channel for further updates. Thanks for watching the video till the end. See you in the next one.